to episode 2 of Infinidat's Power 5 podcast for Red Hat. This is Eric Herzog, CMO, Enterprise, Cyber, and AI Storage Leader in Infinidat. And we'd like you to know that we are a Red Hat ecosystem certified partner. Today's topic is scaling OpenShift virtualization for large virtual environments. With me today is Mike Jochimsen, Director of Alliances at Infinidat. Welcome, Mike.
Thanks, Eric. Happy to be here again.
Before we start, I thought it would be helpful to remind people to review our first Power 5 podcast, which describes the Infinidat CSI driver and the value it delivers to OpenShift enterprise customers. Mike, tell us more about the Infinidat and Red Hat partnership and why Infinidat storage is ideally suited for OpenShift and OpenShift virtualization configurations.
Yeah, sure, Eric. As enterprises adopt a unified platform to orchestrate container and virtual machine-based workloads, the need for robust and high-performance storage solutions becomes more critical. Red Hat OpenShift Virtualization offers the ability to run both containerized and traditional virtual machine workloads on a unified hybrid cloud platform. When paired with Infinidat storage, known for its enterprise scalability, reliability, performance, and cyber resilience, enterprises can unlock significant advantages in managing modern hybrid workloads and virtual machines. The combination of OpenShift Virtualization and Infinidat enterprise storage platforms provides a seamless solution to scale applications and workloads without compromising performance. Infinidat's enterprise storage architecture is uniquely designed to deliver low latency, as low as 35 microseconds, fastest in the storage industry, and high throughput performance capabilities that align with the demanding requirements of containerized environments, ensuring that OpenShift virtualization can handle resource-intensive applications efficiently. The scalability of Infinidat storage and its agile performance elasticity for consolidated workloads complements the dynamic nature of containerized and virtual machine workloads, enabling businesses to painlessly scale their storage needs in tandem with the growth of their applications.
How does the OpenShift storage require map to Infinidat's ability to provide storage for container environments?
The Kubernetes CSI model dynamically creates a one-to-one mapping for each PVC request that a pod and/or a VM makes, which includes provisioning an underlying persistent volume and storage volume LUN. As a result, direct one-to-one-to-one mappings of PVC to PV to LUN are dynamically created and deleted following the lifecycle of persistent volume claims. The Infinidat CSI driver utilizes recommended best practices for efficient device discovery, including searching by ID to allow for discovery of greater than 255 LUNs per node, and correct device teardown order, ensuring proper multipath device cleanup.
Mike, can you describe the work we have been doing with Red Hat to help our mutual customers scale OpenShift virtualization environments?
First, this topic is timely and critical given the changing landscape in enterprise virtualization. Infinidat has spoken with a number of our customers who are evaluating, implementing, or actively running production environments on OpenShift virtualization. These enterprise customers represent environments ranging from thousands to tens of thousands of virtual machines. In fact, the work that 2 Fortune 500 Infinidat customers, a manufacturer and an insurance company, were doing in their lab led Infinidat and Red Hat to meet in our lab in Waltham, Massachusetts, where some really bright individuals on both sides dug into the intricacies of our CSI driver and OpenShift persistent volumes to experiment with ways to scale these environments. They investigated and tested changes to kernel parameters and other best practices to improve the scalability of VMs per host for large environments. This showcases the ability of Infinidat and Red Hat to collaboratively work with our joint customers to meet their needs.
Excellent. But with all that, is there a jointly authorized white paper published on the Infinidat website and the Infinidat page on the Red Hat ecosystem catalog that describes in more detail the outcomes of this work?
Yes, there is. We began this engagement with the goal of scaling beyond 255 volumes per host, and we were successful in a really short amount of time. This paper outlines our results, increasing to 420 volumes per host over fiber channel connectivity. This represents a 65% increase in volumes per host support. And we have continued the testing using NVMe over TCP, and we've now achieved over 600 volumes per host. We believe we can continue to scale this even further.
Those are really impressive numbers that enterprise customers will really be interested in. Tell me more about how the work was done.
Sure. We built a 3-node OpenShift cluster cluster, which is very small, and it's not something a customer would typically run. But on this cluster, we were able to create 140 VMs per host, which resulted in 420 volumes per host. As I said before, this was done in a fiber channel environment, so numbers will vary for iSCSI, NVMe over TCP, or other connectivity. We enabled multipathing on the cluster nodes for availability and performance. Then we began to identify the common practices that impacted the scalability of volumes per host. The results were incorporated into the CSI driver and storage class object, which are published on GitHub and referenced in the joint white paper.
Thank you. That's great. This really details how Red Hat has been a great company with Infinidat to work with and how it shows the benefits to our Fortune 500 mutual customers and large service providers in using OpenShift and OpenShift Virtualization. For the audience, now don't forget to review our previous Pod 5 podcast and stay tuned for our next podcast, which will describe our high availability solutions for OpenShift environments.